Hello, and welcome to the first official episode of Reviewing the Reviews, the only place on the internet where you'll find a piece of crap that failed out of journalism in college, only to turn around and mock the people who didn't fail out of journalism in college. Today we are taking a look at the infamous IGN, and the article we'll be discussing is Xenoblade. It's a game I quite enjoy, and I feel like it would be a great place to start our first official episode. When one thinks of IGN, I doubt they ever think of quality. You can look this up and see these controversial reviews that IGN puts out. It is very clear that IGN puts out quantity over quality, as you can see how many articles they put out a day. Now, this is a problem overall with the journalism industry, but it's probably the sole reason why IGN has such terrible reviews and such bad hot takes. But we're not here to try to fix a broken industry. We're here to talk about a very bad article. To be honest, when it comes to shit articles that IGN has put out, the Xenoblade article is tame in comparison to a lot of other articles. I've went and found certain parts of the articles that I'd like to discuss rather than going through it one bit by bit, because there are some things I agree with in this article or semi-agree with, so I'm not going to argue with them. This article isn't total crap, but it's still pretty bad. So let's get into this first part here.
Finally, Shulk looks like the dorky firebrand we know from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
There's a couple issues I take with this, and the first one is that Shulk, he made his first appearance in Wii U and 3DS. He made his first appearance in that one. Second off, they don't really characterize the characters correctly in Super Smash Bros. You should never take anything in Super Smash Bros. Seriously. To be honest, they made Shulk look more like a meme than anything else with the I'm Really Feeling It and It's Shulk Time, which is taken directly from Rhine. One could say that they did a poor representation of Shulk in Super Smash Bros. I could, once you play Xenoblade, you can see that he definitely would be considered a, by definition, firebrand, but I have no idea how anyone could take that away from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So in this next part, they're discussing the Future Connected, which is a little add-on they put on to the definitive edition. It is the epilogue of the game, and well, let's read what they have to say.
You spend a whole lot of time with Melia, one of the weaker characters from the main campaign.
Now, I believe that they meant maybe underdeveloped in comparison to the rest of the cast. However, the rest of the cast is so well written that Melia being a little underdeveloped is not really that much of a problem, and she's still written better than a lot of supporting characters in RPGs in general these days. Another thing, if we take them for their word and they say that Melia is a weaker character, yeah, her AI sucks, but Melia's strength is in the player. You have to play as Melia, and Melia can easily be one of the best, if not the best characters, if you know how to play her. She's very difficult to use. I don't play as Melia. I don't enjoy playing as mage characters, but I have talked to other fans of the series, and Melia is a powerhouse if you know how to use her. I feel like the person that made this review probably only had her set as an AI character. Alright, let's get into this next one.
Gem crafting is still a time-consuming and convoluted way to improve your gear. Usually a huge chore I felt obligated to do, rather than an exciting path to getting stronger.
Gem crafting is actually pretty simplistic in my opinion, I have a loose understanding of it, and I can pretty much do it and get some decent gems. At least I did when I did my original playthrough. I highly doubt anything has really changed there on the definitive edition. You can actually just brute force gem craft and create some pretty decent things. Um, as for time consuming, if I feel like they did not complete one of the side quests that gets them the portable gem crafter, so pretty much you can craft your gems anywhere rather than having to go all the way back to Colony 9, and that eliminates a lot of the tediousness of that situation. So needed to do some side quests, my dude. This next complaint comes immediately after the gem crafting complaint, and it's something I kind of agree with, but also kind of disagree with. We'll get into that, but let's see what they have to say. And it's a really weird choice to make the most powerful version of every art only obtainable via random in-world drops, meaning you just gotta grind certain areas of the world and farm certain enemy types for hours if you hope to reach the apex of your character's abilities. So, to comment on this one, yeah, I don't like that you have to grind for it. You should be able to find that specific enemy, kill it, and get it for sure. But the way it works is you find these specific types of enemies and you grind them. And the higher the level of the enemy, the more likely you are to get a drop. So if it's level 50, you're not likely to get a drop for that last skill. But if it's level 70 or 80, you're more likely to get those drops. That said, you still don't require to have all your arts maxed to beat the game. You pretty much, I believe, like the general level to beat the game is around like 70, 75. And, getting a couple of your arts to the max, you should be fine. You should be fine. It's not that hard. It is a tedious and kind of poorly thought out, yes, and they should have definitely made it you aware in game of who you need to farm and grind. But I found generally that the grind, as long as you know which enemies to fight and go for the higher level ones, which by end game you'll be around the levels to take them on, you should be able to beat it. That said, also being level 60 doesn't mean you can't take down a level 70 enemy. If you can play right, you got your art set right and your gear set right, you can do that. It's difficult, but you can still pull it off. All right, and we're at the final part of the article that we'll be discussing. There's still a little bit more to discuss, but let's get this part out of the way.
Certain areas in boss fights essentially serve as power checks that aren't usually winnable without a not insignificant amount of running through the area and killing the same enemies repeatedly. This is especially painful towards the end of the campaign, where leveling up requires a ton of experience points, and the power level of the enemy goes up at a faster pace than you can organically scale if you aren't going out of your way to grind.
So there's a couple things wrong with this, and I'll tell you why, in my opinion. There are going to be certain areas where monsters are going to be more powerful. You just don't go there yet. You will become more powerful, and then you can go there and you can kill them when you're more powerful. That's part of the game. It's a pseudo open world game. Bosses are supposed to be difficult, so they're going to be a bit higher of a level. If you play correctly and you if you do your gem management and gear management good, you can do it without having to grind too much. You should be doing your side quests. By the end game, you're anywhere from level 60 to 70. And yes, there's a grind, but you can significantly reduce that if you grind with intelligence. So what I did was I would grind the monsters that had the art books. You can reduce that time with proper time management. It's actually quite simple to do that. Yes, there's a grind, but it's not that bad of a grind. And that brings us to the conclusion of my nitpicks about this article. There are a couple things I should bring up that were interesting to me. So at the beginning of the articles, they state that this is the best way to play Xenoblade Chronicles. However, if you look at the previous score of Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on the 3DS and the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, they both scored higher than the best way to play Xenoblade. So I don't know why, but I have a theory on why that is, and if you actually pay attention, each review is written by a different person. So, yeah, that's a big problem with video game journal outlets is that they have different people reviewing different things, and their monetary, no, they're not the monetary, their numeric rating system is different for each person. That creates a problem when you have different people reviewing the same game or the remasters of the game. There is a lack of communication there. So yeah, that's something I noticed. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I thought it was kind of funny. Hey guys, thank you for finishing the video. It does mean a lot to me. Just a little update on how things are going. Once again, I apologize. I fucked up and I have been neglecting to do videos. Furthermore, the gaming content is going to be a bit more delayed. I know, I suck. It just is like that. I'm looking for people to collaborate with, and we're going to try to nail down a specific game we want to do, like a continuity of that. That being said, the main reason why I don't actually have a lot of time to do content for YouTube, specifically with gaming, is because I stream on Twitch. I'm actually playing through Xenoblade Chronicles right now over there, so if you can follow me on twitch.tv/nihilisticnerd, that would be awesome. Other than that, I will see you guys next time, and you guys have a wonderful night. Laters.
Just feels great to be back with Xenoblade Chronicles' memorable cast of characters, whether it's the lovable meathead Rain or the stoic and inscrutable Duncan.